Victory over the New York Yankees.
Cole looks back at second, and the pitch is driven in the air, deep toward right center. Over on the run is Schumann, looking up at the wall. It's off the bottom of the wall, and ricochets away for extra bases. Rounding third, scoring Fortes. Stopping at third is Diaz. At second with a double is Jonathan Aranda. Jonathan is driven in both Rays runs, and they now lead 2-0 in the fifth.
Now Baker ready to work once more. Here he comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the Rays have defeated the Yankees again. And the first place lead in the American League East has grown to 5 games. The Rays have taken 2 of the first 3 against the Yankees, and they shut them out tonight. Here at Tropicana Field, the final score, the Rays 3 and New York 0. Another win for the Orlando Rays. Sugar Shane McClanahan picks up his 8th win of the season. The Rays take a 5-game lead on the Yankees in the AL East. New York, though, getting their payback today. Those are highlights were from yesterday. If we were to air today's, which we don't have access to yet, they would not be as pleasant. 7-3 right now is the score. Yankees on top in the top of the 6th inning. So the Rays still have time to complete the sweep against the New York Yankees. Also, stadium renderings in Tampa for the new stadium have been released. The internal renderings, we've already seen what the exterior would look like. We'll talk about that and the ramifications for the city that we reside in Orlando, coming up in the next segment. How convenient. Christian Pulisic, who appeared to give up on his team at the end of the Belgium match, now has an injury to tend to. Pulisic sustained a bone bruise and a microfracture in his lower leg, and he will be sidelined for several weeks now, which, who cares? We're done anyway, so that's irrelevant. Classic, straight out of the PR handbook. Jaden, this is how this works. I remember many years ago when LeBron lost one of his NBA finals and he played poorly. All of a sudden, after the finals, he had a broken hand. That was nowhere to be found during the actual finals, and we knew that Pulisic was dealing with an injury, but now, rather than sucking it up and maybe apologizing to the country, the next release that you get after the team is eliminated is he was hurt. This is just classic PR stuff.
It kind of makes you look like a baby, though. You don't make our country look good when you do that. You kind of make us look like we just sit there and whine about everything. I mean, especially because we got our red card revoked, all that. Yeah. Man. We just look like babies after the end of the World Cup.
And I'm sure that it's real, but it's just not what people want to hear right now. The World Cup for the USA is over. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, just don't even come out with that information at this point.
It's a secret injury, okay? We're already upset. Don't make it worse. In other news, we have a game today, and for the next several days. The round of 8 starts today, 4 p.m., France and Morocco. Let's make sure. Oh, we already got the channel on.
I'm already on it.
Schedule today. Come on. I've been watching tennis at 2 p.m. the last couple of days. I can't watch tennis. All right, so we got that on. By the way, if you're trying to bet this, can I give you a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Morocco's without their best player, Saibari. Now, France was already going to be a favorite. They're an even heavier favorite now. To advance, make sure you bet to advance.
I learned my lesson.
Minus 375 for France to just move on to the next round. But if you parlay that with Mbappe to score a goal, you can get about plus 120 to plus 140. That'd be the way to bet it.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Drama. Spurs play-by-play voice Jacob Toby has been let go following this online scandal. I talked to Jaden offline about this yesterday. Toby's girlfriend alleged that the announcer had an affair with the sister of a Spurs player. She posted on his Instagram about it. She, I guess, either had his login info or got a hold of his phone, went onto his Instagram channel, and posted on his story a picture of them two saying, "I cheated on my girlfriend, and you can keep following me if you think I'm a good guy, for which I am not." And the Spurs fired him for this, which is really fascinating to me. That is a bold move by the Spurs, and it sort of eliminates the dialogue. I'll bring this back to a much bigger national story. to Diana Rossini getting fired and the perception that there's a double standard in the way that we view men in media and the way that we treat women in media. Jacob Toby is a man who cheated on his girlfriend and got fired for it. So, was it the right move by the San Antonio Spurs?
Not at all.
Should that even be allowed? I imagine that they will fight this legally.
I would be in court tomorrow. I would be filing papers. There's no way this is legal. You can fire me because I had an affair? Like, they're not even married, it's not an affair. I was just cheating. Like, you can't fire me for that. That's like going to your local Home Depot and being like, yeah, I'm married or I have a girlfriend, but this cashier looks pretty good. Home Depot finds out you're with this cashier and Home Depot fires you. That's garbage. You would take that to court. If I'm Jacob, I'm taking that to court.
So I think it goes back to, it's a little bit different than the Diana Rossini thing because Rossini was sleeping with someone that would have been a source for her as a reporter. So there's a little bit more of a direct relation to that impacting the quality and integrity of her job. Being the play-by-play voice of the Spurs and sleeping with someone that's not your girlfriend really doesn't impact your job calling a Victor Wembanyama dunk. I don't see how those all go together, but I would think if I could speak for San Antonio, the reason they did it is because of public perception. This became public. It's not because he cheated. It's because now he is plastered. His girlfriend really got her payback. I think that's the reason why she got fired. Or he got fired. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it because it is an interesting topic. 50857 on the text line. And on court news, the Magic hit the court tonight in Las Vegas for the Summer League. Here's Jace Richardson talking about what he expects tonight.
We're always trying to come out and try to compete and try to win. I think that's our biggest thing right now is trying to compete and try to win every game we can. But for me, just coming out here, getting better by the day. These are game reps, and you can't take game reps lightly. So just coming out playing as hard as I can.
7:30 tonight on Amazon Prime for that one. We get to see the debut of second-round selection Isaiah Nelson out of USF. Jaden's all excited.
My man.
Reddish.
That's right.
Is going to be a part of the team as well. Magic fans will also get to see some new coaches. The head coach, Sean Sweeney, will not be the head coach of the Summer League squad. That is pretty standard stuff for the head coach of the main team to not coach in the Summer League. I'm sure he'll be there. DJ Backer will be the Summer League head coach for the Orlando Magic. Up next, death, taxes, and stadium renderings out of Tampa. We will talk about one of those three things right after this.
Clients won't lose principal as long as none of the ETFs are down more than 40% 4 years from when we place the trade, and the bank guaranteeing them doesn't default. This isn't an offer because we already traded this note, and structured notes aren't for everyone. But if you would like to know more about how structured notes work and what we currently have available, just give us a call at 407-606-6000.
Advisory services offered through Talent Private Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey man, what's Hard Rock Bet giving you players?
If you win your first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets.
$750? ¿Cuánto?
Oh, was that Ronaldinho? Sounds like his first bet scored.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
This is America, the land of opportunity, where dreams really do come true. And no one embodies that American dream better than International Diamond Center. Our founder started with nothing but 8 gold chains in his pocket, and through hard work and determination, built one of the nation's largest independent jewelers. A true success story right here on American soil. Family owned and thriving since 1983. That's why we're honoring America's 250th anniversary with our biggest red, white, and blue celebration ever. Right now through July 12th, take 15% off all our stunning red, white, and blue fashion jewelry featuring fiery red rubies, vibrant blue sapphires, and brilliant diamonds that sparkle with the spirit of freedom. From bold rings and wedding bands to elegant pendants, bracelets, hoop earrings, and stud earrings, every piece is designed to let your pride and your love shine bright. Get 15% off red, white, and blue jewelry now through July 12th. International Diamond Center. Family-owned diamond experts since 1983. ShopIDC.com.
Listen to 96.9 The Game in your smart home. Just tell Alexa to play 96.9 The Game on iHeart Radio. Sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
We are Orlando's sports leader, broadcasting live from the FM 96.9 The Game studio. Brought to you by the Nickley Group, Orlando's home team, doing real estate differently. TheNickleyGroup.com. The games more intense. Unbelievable! The goals more meaningful.
Mike Tillman! This is what 2026 FIFA World Cup is all about.
iHeart Radio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026
live.
Magnificent Merino for Spain.
Hear the quarterfinals, semifinals, and final for free wherever you are.
Download the free iHeart Radio app and search
World Cup.
Just phenomenal.
The world is listening.
Are you?
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
969thegame.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Felt like you missed something this morning?
It's becoming a disgusting habit at this point.
You did. You can listen while you get ready in the morning.
Wake up with us.
Just tell Alexa to play 96.9 The Game. Welcome back to the premier afternoon sports show in the state of Florida. Game On with Mike Bianchi and Brandon Kravitz.
Death, taxes, and stadium renderings coming out of Tampa Bay. Those are the things that you can count on in this life. Exterior renderings were released several months ago for the planned stadium in Tampa, and we here in Orlando, Florida, have our eyes firmly planted on this story because we are trying to hijack their baseball team. We now have renderings of the inside of this fairy tale stadium. The renderings include a translucent roof, dynamic lighting, a new touch tank for the Stingrays, which I am really surprised the animal activists have not gotten a hold of this yet.
Yeah, you think PETA would be all over that.
All over it. And now it's getting bigger. So it's gonna I think it's gonna be more of like a central display. Well, I say it's going to be. That's if this ever happens. Let's get to that in a moment. This is from Rays CEO Ken Babby. He said, we are unveiling today, what we are unveiling is a response to what Rays fans have told us they want, a comfortable and inviting ballpark that honors the intimate connection between fans and the game, while at the same time incorporating modern amenities and design innovations that they expect and deserve. We're listening. We are working hard to deliver what we feel is the best ballpark experience in the game, bar none. Tampa Bay officials say that there's going to be a seating bowl with all of the seats close to the field. That shouldn't be difficult because we know what attendance looks like in Tampa. 2 large video scoreboards, and as I mentioned, the return of the Rays touch tank. The new Rays ballpark will anchor a new entertainment complex, so it goes beyond just the stadium itself. This is all around Hillsborough College in Hillsborough County. It's going to be, the idea is that there's a beautiful new stadium, and that it's surrounded by a complex. Have you ever seen what the Braves have done? They have sort of, I believe, if they're not the ones that started this movement, they're the ones that have perfected it. I still haven't made it to Truist Park, but I have heard nothing but glowing reviews, not just from the stadium, but around the stadium. It's like you're on a baseball campus with bars, restaurants, stores.
That's nice.
And it's all brand new, and it's nice, and it kind of feels like, sometimes if you go to Camping World Stadium, sometimes when you go to stadiums, it's like this in Baltimore, Camden Yards. If you park a mile away from the stadium, you're a little sketched out walking your way to the stadium.
Just a little bit, just a tad.
They have not only made that a much safer, more family-friendly experience, but they've also monetized the hell out of it. And so it's basically like an outdoor. Imagine if there was like a ballpark in the middle of Waterford Lakes. That's what it sounds like,
right,
to me, as far as the new design. So that's what they're looking for. The Rays would sign a 35-year lease with 3 5-year options at the end that would include, this is important, a non-relocation clause. So they're trying to get out. If they are able to sign this deal and push this new stadium through, they don't want to go through this again in 30 years. The team would manage the ballpark operations and cover repairs and insurance. The goal is that they open this in 2029 at the start of the baseball season. The Tropicana Field lease, that ends after 2028. So if Orlando, if we are pie in the sky able to get a baseball team, it would not be until 2029. They're going to be there at least until 2028. And then we'll see what happens after that. We'll know at that point whether or not they're moving, but that's the proposed plan. This is going to, all that's nice, and I don't know if you've seen the pictures yet online. If you haven't, you should go look at them.
No, but I can imagine. I will look at the pictures. This isn't the first time they try to do like this, like bunch of plazas with restaurants and stuff next to the arena. Benchmark Arena, now I believe it's called. It used to be Amalie Arena. They have shops and bars right next to their arena as well. So this isn't the first time Tampa has tried this.
Right, and this is like just a nicer, newer version of that.
Right.
Maybe more enclosed, but same concept. It's all about just bringing people to the area and the economic impact around there. It's going to cost $2.3 billion to make this happen. And so the question, so then after everyone's done getting all excited about pictures, then you have to ask yourself, who's paying for this? Under the proposal, the county would pay for $796 million of the $2.3. The city's tab would be $180 million. The Rays would cover the rest of it, which would be about $1.2 billion, and anything that then goes over the 2.3, they would also cover it. So those are the facts. I just wanted to make sure I laid all of that out there. Renderings give fans hope.
They're also a great way to push city leaders and potential voters, like the people who live in that county, of seeing the appeal of keeping the team. But you have to understand that part of the deal with releasing these renderings is to fire people up. The reason they have to do it is because not enough people are fired up. I think that this shows that there's a little bit of fear in Tampa that they're not going to be able to push this through. They have that memorandum of understanding, which I learned recently what that means. It's basically a handshake, or at least like a dude nod in the hallway agreement.
Yeah, like
a fist bump, like, hey, we're good.
I'll help you out. I'll help you out a little bit.
But it's not a contract.
No. Well, here's the thing. Tampa, it comes down to two things. Do you want the Bucks or do you want the Rays? Because they both need a new stadium, and you're going to pick the Bucks 10 times out of 10. And that's just the reality of it.
Yes, absolutely. Are they going to pay for both?
No.
That's a lot of money, because guess what? The new football stadium, they're not going to build some crappy stadium. The state-of-the-art football stadium is going to run you over $1 billion as well. And it's not cheap to live in Tampa. You're by the water. Property tax already, I would think, is through the roof. And a lot of people, we're in the sports bubble, so we think everybody loves sports. Not everyone cares. Not everyone over there that owns a house cares.
Well, a lot of them aren't even from Tampa, Florida, in the first place.
So they might not care about baseball, period, and some of them don't care about Rays baseball. So now you have a large percentage of people that either don't care about the Rays or they just don't care about sports. And that takes up a large percentage of your population. This is easy for us in Orlando because who covers it? The tourist tax. We're not paying for it. The people who visit Orlando are paying for it, and there's already an account set up to fund the portion that the Rays ownership would not want to pay for. Who pays for it in Hillsborough County? The people of Hillsborough County. They have to be willing to sign off on this. Otherwise, this is how politics works. All politicians want to do is make the people that vote for them happy so that they continue to vote for them. And if you piss them off by making their home property rates and all of that go through the roof, they're not going to like you. They don't vote for you, and now you're out of a job. So it's all pretty economic and simple. I mean, if I can understand it, so can you.
Yeah, trust me, I understand it, and I don't even own a house.
The fact is that they have come up with a very big bill that their people are not going to want to pay for. And the point of bringing this up is you might see these renderings out there online today, and it has a tendency to make people think that it's like a done deal. I would just say that this is not going to fly with their people, and it means nothing. And
absolutely means
whatever
nothing.
The chances were yesterday, the chances continue to at least be there for us to steal this team.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you right now, after everything we've talked about and everything we've talked about in the last couple months, I can guarantee you Orlando's going to have an MLB team because they won't be in Tampa. They will not be in Tampa.
That just got the Jaden Grimes, capital G, guarantee.
That's right.
I like it. More Game On, your favorite afternoon show, returns right after this.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz will be back right after this.
Guys, let's be honest. When your energy drops, your focus fades, and your performance slips, it doesn't just affect one part of your life. It hits everything. Your workouts, your work, your confidence, and yes, your relationship. That's why I trust Florida Center for Hormones and Wellness. This isn't a pill mill or a testosterone drive-thru. It's a full-service medical practice helping men optimize everything. Hormones, blood flow, recovery, sexual performance, even weight loss. Dr. John Carrazella, a Yale-trained expert with decades of medical experience, leads the team. They'll find what's off, fix it safely, and get you performing at your best again in the gym, at work, and yes, in the bedroom. Mention my name and get $50 off a new patient consultation or 10% off any service or product. It's time to reclaim your strength and confidence and get your edge back. Visit hormonesandwellness.com/bulldog and tell them Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog, sent you. That's hormonesandwellness.com/bulldog.
Everyone's home through the summer, so let's not do anything illegal. But if you do, Trey Flynn is there by your side. I'm talking DUI, serious felony. His expertise in the courtroom and record speaks for itself. Trey Flynn is unlike many in the industry. Compassion for those who have made life-altering mistakes, especially during these summer months. Your free case evaluation is just a click or a phone call away. Visit TreyFlynn.com or dial 407-557-6350. Arrested today? Call Trey.
It's a Yingling thing to have a dog that tears apart every pair of shoes, ruins every carpet, chews through antique furniture, and brand new car seats, terrorizes dog parks, and only knows one trick: how to pull the towel on the fridge door and fetch you an ice-cold Yingling. So let's raise a toast to a very good boy. It's a Yingling thing, brewing America's lager for nearly 200 years.
This is it, Orlando. Soccer on the world stage. Catch every match live and loud at Stadium Club, Orlando's ultimate watch party destination with immersive 360-degree viewing and over 100 screens. Fuel your crew with game day food and drink specials, play in our private sports simulator suites, and jam with our DJ. Plus, parking's free. Feel every chance, every save, every victory like you're in the stadium. Don't just watch the match, experience it. Reserve your seats now on OpenTable or at StadiumClub.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. Win or go home. That's it. That's the World Cup knockout round. And DraftKings has you covered for every single match. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage, in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code WYGM740. Spend $5 to get 200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code WYGM740 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19. Terms at dkng.co/predictionspromo.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Summers can be brutal in Florida, but the only thing that makes it worse is the bugs. And if you need help and you need it fast, there's only one option that I recommend, and it's Burn Pest Control. Joe and his team are trustworthy, reliable, and exceptional at what they do, which is ridding bugs from your home and the surrounding areas. So if you've been searching for a personalized and friendly pest control provider at a
It is time for our daily source of inspiration and motivation, and since we are going to talk about a very strange and perhaps undersold marketing decision, I pulled a quote about marketing. Build something 100 people love, not something 1,000,000 people kind of like. I'm not even sure that I agree with that, because if you sold 1,000,000 things that people like, or you sold 100 things that people love, wouldn't you make a lot more money?
Yeah, you would.
First one?
Yeah, I think I'd pick that first one to make more money.
It's kind of like you think about some of the crap that you find at Five Below or in the dollar section somewhere, and it's just garbage.
Hey, my aunt used to tell me,
or something.
My aunt used to tell me $5 get you 5 things at the dollar store. A lot better than going to Walmart and getting one thing. I'm just saying.
But I think the general idea is create quality over quantity, and that is something that I can absolutely get behind. Some of the greatest marketers in the world just kind of they create quality, and then they kind of let the consumer guide them from there. Do you know the story of how Amazon started? Amazon got started way before it became this big takeover the world machine that it is right now. It started during the .com era when we started getting online, and Amazon.com was a bookstore. This is where you bought books.
Really?
It was like an online library.
Like online, like the Kindle, pretty much.
Yeah, like you would go online to this website and you would purchase books, and they would send books to your house. That's how it got started. And now everything that you own probably came from Amazon.
Yeah, it's kind of...
And they have football on Thursdays.
Kind of like a Monopoly now or something. I don't know.
It's also where you can watch the Summer League tonight.
I'll be tuning in tonight.
With the Magic and the Hornets. Oh, you just gotta let the money guide you. Now, that was a smart business move. Going from books to, hey, what if we sold everything? Well, I'm not sure I agree with this one. The Big 12 and Monster Energy have entered a multi-year sponsorship agreement. Brett Yormark announced this at Big 12 Media Days, and they're getting $20 million a year, which sounds like a lot of money, but when you split that amongst all of the schools, there's 16 in the Big 12. I'm not sure that it's worth it. Is it really worth the $1 million plus bump that they're going to get from this? And I would think the Big 12 kind of keeps some of the money. So I've seen it estimated that schools are going to make $800,000 a year off of this deal. And there's going to be patches on all of the jerseys. There's going to be logos, Monster logos on the field. I will say, as far as an image perspective, Monster does have a cool logo, so it won't look bad. But I just don't think they got enough money for this deal.
No, I don't think they did either. And I don't like this Monster Energy collab. I don't like what's going to set up for the future. Here's my perspective of it. My uncle has a Monster Energy tattoo on his calf.
No.
All right?
What?
So I see a Monster Energy tattoo.
Does he just love the energy drink that much?
It's a cool design, I guess. I don't know.
It is a cool logo.
But it just looks like you're tattooing the field to me. I think it's childish. I think it's stupid. I mean, sure, you got a paycheck, but do you really need that paycheck? No, these schools make money. Like, it's fine. We don't need this.
So what I wanted to do is ask all of you, what is the tacky sponsorship idea that you have for teams in sports or conferences? We'll start with the conferences, but if you want to throw them towards teams, that's fine. Maybe we run out of ideas. 50857. You can also hit us up in the Rage Cage on the iHeart Radio Talkback. I thought of one. We go to the biggest conference of all, or at least the one that we talk about the most, which is the SEC, brought to you by Walmart, where our fans live. That's where I think if they had a sponsorship deal, they get a lot of money from Walmart. The Walmart, what are they calling it? The Monster Energy Big 12? This would be the Walmart SEC. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, everyone that watches SEC football has shopped at Walmart. Yeah, I with it. Now, what about this? For the SEC, we go a little more southern. We go like boiled peanuts or something. A boiled peanut company comes in and we're like, We're the boiled peanut SEC.
I could see that. I would need the company. Is there a popular boiled? A lot of people in the SEC make their own boiled peanuts.
Yeah, I know. So I guess that wouldn't really work. There's no company for that.
I thought of one that's really appropriate for the Big Ten, the Southwest Big Ten. It's not Southwest, the direction, Southwest, the airline company. Maybe we call it the Delta Big Ten. Maybe they could get into a bidding war with the airlines because you collect so many airline miles now traveling between Big Ten schools. The USC is in the Big Ten. That's in Southern California. Rutgers is in the Big Ten, and they are in New York. That's how far apart their schools are. Oregon, which is in the top left of the country, if you're looking at the map. They're in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And they're playing Ohio State, which is in the middle of the country.
It's so confusing to me how they put these schools in these conferences. I get it. But no one's next to each other. Can we make it just a little more like closer? Just a little bit.
Delta, I think Delta Big Ten has a better ring to it. We'll go Delta Big Ten. Notre Dame is its own thing because they're an independent. So we're going to go the Notre Dame Jameson Fighting Irish.
Oh, I like that. That one's good. I was thinking more of like Pampers or something because they're always whining, but I like that. Jameson.
I thought of one for the Magic. I'll save this one for later. Pac-12, which is still in existence. The Pac-12 brought to you by McDonald's Chicken Nuggets because we're not really sure what's inside. Even though, like, I know off the top of my head just as much about the inside of a McNugget as I do about the inside of the Pac-12. I think Boise State is in it. I could not name. There are teams. There's multiple teams in the Pac-12.
Oregon State.
I think Oregon State's in it. Washington State's in it.
Yeah,
but there's more than that. I don't.
Oh, UConn, I think.
No, UConn's an independent.
I thought they joined. Oh. Yeah, I don't even remember the other teams.
So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We want those sorts of ideas. The Orlando Magic, by the way, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams because they live in the paint. So that's the idea there. 50857 or hit us up on the iHeart Radio Talk Back. 3 o'clock hour continues in a moment. Plus, Poll-A-Palooza. Fantasy average draft position chatter to get to with my good friend John McKechnie in the next hour. The week of fantasy continues. Game on. Rolls on after this. The Florida Heat takes no prisoners. Now we have Saharan dust to deal with. We need an operational AC unit better and more importantly now than ever before. So join the cool club of cool customers by calling the team over at Mills Air. I'm talking next level cool, the latest technology, the best trained techs who do fast, efficient work so that you can get on with your life. And it's not just me saying this. Homeowners throughout Central Florida turn to Mills Air for expert service, honest recommendations, and dependable solutions that fit their budget. Scratch that tune-up off your list. It is worth it. Routine service improves energy efficiency, saving you money on utility bills. Call Leon and the crew, schedule your appointment, and tell them that Brandon Kravitz from Game On sent you by. 407-277-1159, online at millsair.com. Call them today and be their next cool customer. Poll-A-Palooza coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll rattle through some of our thought-provoking questions in a moment. I'm dealing with a bit of heartbreak right now as it's a Thursday in Major League Baseball, so it's a getaway day. A lot of teams playing early on in the day, which means I had some early wagers and had the under 9.5 on Mets Royals. Finished at 10. Ooh. So,
that's tough.
Just a punch straight to the gut. I need some other things to happen, but nobody cares. So I just had to get that off my chest. Also, I saw this story. The Colts added Adam Vinatieri to their Ring of Honor, which on the surface, I had the same reaction that Jaden just had and that everybody listening just had. What?
Well, no, that's not why I made the face.
Okay.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I just heard Adam Vinatieri, and I was like, is he coming back? He's making a comeback? I haven't heard that name in forever.
The Colts are adding him to the Ring of Honor. He's going to be next to names like Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Peyton Manning. When you think about the all-time great Colts, even just the recent, that era of the Colt, Dwight Freeney. Those are the guys that you think of. You don't think of Adam Vinatieri. In fact, when I think of Adam Vinatieri, I think of a guy who was spending most of his time crushing the dreams of the Indianapolis Colts because he was made famous with two of the biggest kicks in Super Bowl history for their rival in the New England Patriots. So my initial thought was, I get that he played there, and he was on the team that won the Super Bowl for the Colts during the Peyton Manning years. But still, he's a kicker. And he's a kicker that, as you can make the argument, he's the greatest kicker of all time, but he's known for what he did with a different team. It feels odd that he would be in the Colts Ring of Honor. We're going to do a little bit of research. Okay, not only was he on the Super Bowl team, so they're honoring as many of the key pieces of that team as they can, Adam Vinatieri is the field goals leader in Indianapolis Colts history. This guy is unbelievable.
Not to be that guy, but I knew Vinatieri was a baller. I wanted to be a kicker growing up because they make a lot of money to do not too much besides kick the football, so I paid attention to kickers, and I knew Vinatieri was the greatest kicker I've ever seen. That dude could put it from anywhere.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'm not disputing that. I'm saying that he's a kicker that, as great as he was, he's known for being a Patriot. And having a guy that is known for his Patriot years be in the Ring of Honor alongside these other great Colts feels peculiar to me. But greatest kicker of all time. I would have no problem saying that he's the most clutch kicker of all time, and I would think he's the all-time leader in terms of field goals made for the New England Patriots, and he is that for the Indianapolis Colts. So doing that for two different teams, winning Super Bowls with multiple teams, that's how you end up getting an honor like that, and he'll be recognized this year. Somebody said this has to be the fifth or sixth different rendering of a new stadium that I've seen come out of Tampa in the last 10 years. Completely agree. I would feel bad for the fine people of Tampa because they're delivered new renderings about every 3 months. I would feel bad for them if I didn't want their team so bad.
I don't feel bad at all. Keep going out these ghost ideas that are never going to happen. They'll be here eventually.
We have seen renderings, too, for what our stadium would look like. But that was years ago. That's when Pat Williams was still with us. I hope that the next time we see those, there's a lot more structure and reality to the possibility of bringing that here than somebody just drawing it up. Because now you can just do that with AI. I feel like it's probably easier now to create renderings than ever before. I wouldn't want to be in the renderings business.
I wouldn't want to be in any business that deals with design and computers ever.
You're all being wiped out. Sorry. Find a new line of work. We've got Poll-A-Palooza coming up. Fantasy discussions in the 4 o'clock hour. Much more to get to. Right now, we'll pause for a moment. Let the talented folks at Fox Sports Radio get you all caught up with the latest. I will attempt to do my best Mike Bianchi impression right now. It is time for Poll-A-Palooza.
Poll-A-Palooza.
I feel like the Saharan dust is helping. By the way, Poll-A-Palooza brought to you by House of Champions, Central Florida's premier professional wrestling training center. God, I wish that this was around when I was a kid. 8 to 15, those are the ages that they offer classes for. Structured environment, experienced coaches. No experience for you or your child is necessary, and every family can start with a free class. It's a fun, unique way for kids to stay active, make friends, and discover what they're capable of. First class, always free. Go to thehocpro.com. Go and follow them on social media at House of Champions. See what they're all about. Great people over there. Let's get to it. Time for Poll-A-Palooza. We'll start with question number 1. Got 5 mind benders for you. This one has caught some steam on social media. No surprise, because we know what a hot rod this topic is. But UCF just put out a video. Let's layer in some context before I ask the question. The UCF football account just put out a video with some renovations that they had for the bounce house, and they made sure to show people at the very end of the video that the 2017 national champions sign on the stadium has not gone anywhere. It's still standing. It is, and it apparently is going to shine bright during night games, because it feels like it kind of fades in now with the way that they painted it, but apparently it's going to pop for night games. Do you agree or disagree with UCF's decision to keep the national championship signage? Agree or disagree? Jaden, I will get your vote first. I'll deliver mine, and then I'll let you know where the people voted.
I disagree. They never won a national championship. That sign should not be in any arena that UCF has. They never won a national championship. They've never been to a national championship. I don't care who they beat. They're not champions.
They were not allowed to play in the national championship. This was pre-college football playoff. I love the fact that UCF basically uses this at this point as a way to troll everybody else, because they know that it upsets the college football collective. I think UCF in their heart of hearts knows they've never won an actual national championship, but through errors of technicality, you could have made the case, as we did in 2017, that UCF was a national champion. They never won a national championship, but they were a national championship per a couple of different polls. They were. The NCAA recognized them as a national champion in 2017. Yes, that is true. So they're using a technicality to troll people, and I like that. I like the bravado. So I agree, but always going to be a hot button issue. 60% of the vote agree, 40% disagree. So more people on the side that they should have kept it.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. There are multiple schools do that, where they say they're national championships. Boston College has a sign that says they're national champions, and I think it's from like 1941. That's sorry. We should not be doing this.
This is the beauty of having any sort of playoff now, where you have qualifications where teams are allowed to actually compete for this, is that the claims are no longer valid moving forward. You can't do what UCF did, what Boston College did now. Now you have to go through the gauntlet of a playoff. Poll question number 2. Among the top 3 options for LeBron, where do you think he will sign? This came out yesterday from Shams Charania that he is down to 3 options: the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, or the the rebuilt Philadelphia 76ers with Jaylen Brown now acquired from the Boston Celtics. So this isn't where you think he should go. This is where you think he will go. What's your vote?
He's going to Cleveland. And here's my reasons. I mean, they're a little tinfoil, a little crazy, but
I don't know. If it's based on your the golf story you have to give me, I don't think that's tinfoil.
Bronny James spotted in the Cleveland golf course, and guess who else was golfing that day? Donovan Mitchell, Max Strauss, all play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's pretty set in stone to me. He's going to Cleveland.
That does look like a positive sign for Cleveland. We've also seen, I'm always going to look into the betting market, over at Kalshi, where people bet on those sorts of things more frequently than you get at a sports book. I don't even know if Hard Rock is offering that.
I doubt
but Kalshi will put up a market on what color shirt LeBron is wearing tomorrow. They'll just put up anything. Some big-time Cavaliers money hit the market. So it seems like there is a lot of confidence. There are reasons. That is a legitimate reason if he's golfing. He's from Ohio, so it's not that crazy that he's golfing over there. But the fact that you also have members of the Cavs that are golfing too means that they're actively recruiting him. He's got sentimental ties. Miami doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Cleveland is the most likely landing spot. I think he would help to put them over the top. He's not going to get the ball enough in Philadelphia. I'm trying to come up with a case to disagree with you, and I can't. So I'm going to say Cleveland as well. 57% of the vote on the Cleveland Cavaliers, 29% on the Miami Heat, and 14% on the 76ers. I will say the team on that list that I want to see him play for the least would be Philadelphia. I don't like this idea that Philadelphia is just tripping into this barrel of riches. I'm used to that happening with Miami, but it annoys me because they don't deserve it. They've put so much into this Joel Embiid investment, and it's been a terrible decision. Then they got handed Jaylen Brown, and now LeBron's just going to walk through the door. I don't like when teams the Miami Heat have paid their dues at least since the Big Three era. They've gone through a lot of, we're going to try and stay relevant, and just because of Eric Spoelstra and a hot run from Jimmy Butler, they've been able to do it. But that's through hard work. I don't like what the Sixers have done.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't think it's a good fit either. The team's not going to work out. It's like going to be one of those super teams that never do anything, like KG on the Nets or something. He's not going to do anything with the Sixers.
They would be better than that.
Well, yes.
They have some young talent.
Failed super team.
It's not just like a bunch of old dudes who are over the hill. Poll question number 3. Would you give Baker Mayfield a top flight $53+ million multi-year contract before the season? Yes, do it right now. Get it over with. No, wait until after 2026. Or no, at any point in time, I would not give Baker Mayfield that contract. They have, according to reports, hit a bit of a stalemate in their negotiations. I think you wait until after 2026. Show it to me again. Put yourself in an MVP conversation. I'll give you all the money that I'm allowed to give you, but I need to see it again. I would be in no rush if I'm Tampa. Great. If you show me that you're one of the top guys, I'll pay you like it, and if you're not, that's great because we're kind of rebuilding anyway.
I'm torn here because if I'm Tampa, I don't think I ever want to pay him the $53 million. Now, if he wins MVP and they go on a playoff run, I understand it, but I don't think they should pay him that money. He's an older quarterback who runs a lot, who's gonna get beat up. I just don't think I don't think he's that valuable for that money. I just don't.
Yes, do it now. 35% of the vote, and then tied for second place is no, wait until after 2026, and no at any point in time. So you're saying no at any point in time. I'm at a no until after the season.
Yeah, at any point in time. He has to have the best season he's ever produced for me to pay him $53 million.
We'll see if he's in that MVP discussion, which he was 2 years ago. I think it would change your tune.
I think it would too. I just need to see it.
And he would be doing it without Mike Evans for the first time. What movie, poll question number 4, what movie is the most must-see of all of these classic options? We were talking about this yesterday, some classic movies that we have not seen. Nick Whalen from RotoWire has never seen Star Wars.
Shameful.
You and I have never seen The Godfather.
No.
So those two are on the list. The Godfather, Star Wars, Forrest Gump, and The Wizard of Oz. I worked with the first producer I ever worked with on this station, Brian Fritz, had never seen The Wizard of Oz. I thought it was the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had The Wizard of Oz on Blu-ray growing up.
You'd think just like accidentally through life you would watch it. The movie's on so much. Not so much anymore, but it used to be on a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I don't really watch TV, but I haven't seen it anymore. If I had to pick out of all of these, my next tattoo is going to be a Star Wars tattoo, so I'm going to have to go with Star Wars here.
You got a lot of options with Star Wars, too. There's a few Godfathers. There's only one Forrest Gump. There's only one Wizard of Oz. They should make a sequel for Wizard of Oz.
They did. It's called Wicked.
That's a prequel.
Oh, well. They're all the same universe. It's fine.
So I think it would be Wizard of Oz. If you've never seen The Wizard of Oz, you are a flat-out weirdo. 45% of the votes say that it's Star Wars. Right behind that is The Godfather at 30%, and then Forrest Gump. Wizard of Oz at 11%. People are saying that is the least must-see of all of these options. Shame on all of you. Last one. Poll question number 5. How much less interested are you in the World Cup now that Team USA has been eliminated? By the way, we have World Cup action on the screen right now. In the 11th minute, Morocco and France 0-0 is the score. How much less interested are you in the World Cup now that Team USA has been eliminated? 10% less, 25% less, 50% less, or 100% less? I do not care. We're down to the final 8. We've got countries that, for the most part, I would say 6 of the 8 have a pretty good case to make for being good enough to win the whole thing. We're going to get some phenomenal matches. I'm still very much into this. I didn't expect USA to go on this massive run. I would have liked one more win from them, or at least not to get embarrassed by Belgium would have been nice, but I didn't expect them to make it to the Final Four or anything like that. I would say 10% less. I'm definitely less interested. I'm between 10% and 25%, but because I got pretty patriotic around the 4th of July. I would say 25% just because it's year 250 of the 250th birthday of the country.
Me and you are very different. I'm going to go with 50%. I was really into it when Team USA was doing something in this World Cup. Now, I just like betting on it, so that's where my interest is. I'll bet on it and watch some games, but I'm not too interested anymore.
The voting is all over the place. This is basically split. 10% is the lead vote with 29%. 10%. This is very confusing because it's percentages on percentages. I apologize. But basically, most of the people, even though it's tight, are saying that they're only 10% less interested without Team USA involved in the World Cup. 100% less is the second option. 50% less is the third, and 25% less is the final option or at least the final vote getter out there. I just realized that I should never make a poll again involving percentages on percentages because I just think I warped my own brain. That right there is Poll-A-Palooza for this week. Up next, I've been delivering some fantasy nuggets throughout the week, but John McKechnie from RotoWire.com drops some gems in the next segment. Don't go anywhere. Here's what I don't understand off the text line. It says, how can you leave Blazing Saddles off of your list? Heresy.
Never seen it.
I've seen it. I think I've seen it once. It was a very long time ago. I could not tell you a single thing that happened, but I know it's a classic.
Is it a cowboy?
It's like a spoof on a Western. But if we're saying there are four, we can only have four options of classics, must-see classics. How are you leaving any of the ones that I put on off of the list? I think Forrest Gump, maybe. That movie was so popular. Maybe we throw Titanic on there or something, but we're talking about must-see classics. I don't think Blazing Saddles is in the top 4. Top 10, maybe. Hit us up in the Rage Cage. Tap that microphone icon and let it fly. You can also text in at 50857. So I've been running Fantasy Week all week. Some of my favorite players, sleepers at running back, wide receiver, at quarterback. But today, we're talking to the real experts. John McKechnie from RotoWire.com wrote an article comparing fantasy draft positions and the sportsbooks odds market. A really smart angle to take when wrapping your head around the top fantasy options. The full chat is available on the Florida Line podcast. We go about 18 minutes there, but which is the sports betting cousin, of course, of Game On. Here's a piece of our comprehensive chat. From a basic level, how important is it to have an understanding of season-long odds on props like yards and touchdowns and those things that we covet in fantasy when it comes to fantasy? So basically what I'm asking is, before you go into a draft, would you advise that everyone take a look at the props that are available on the various sports books that are out there? Is there a direct correlation to value?
So I think it's a good idea to get you in the ballpark, because what Vegas is saying is basically a conservative estimate of, if this guy plays all season, here's basically how it's going to go. And I think that a lot of us are tempted to go with the overs inherently because they are more fun to root for, and injuries are really hard to predict. So it's a kind of the dark art of trying to say, like, oh, well, this guy, there's no way this guy's playing the whole season. I'm going to take the under. Like that can be a fool's errand in and of itself, but that can be the Vegas props can be just sort of a baseline projection. You weigh that against, the fantasy projections, which tend to be a little bit more bullish. Like here's the best case scenario for these types of guys, or you can look at ceiling versus floor projections, that type of thing. I believe we have those at RotoWire as well. But yeah, all of that holistically gobbled together is a good way to kind of get a individual picture of what to expect for every single player.
So the top 5 offenses from an implied points per game perspective are the Lions, Bengals, Ravens, Rams, and Bills. I don't think I'm going to need to twist many arms out there to get folks to draft players from those teams. But what about the teams that we expect to take a leap? Can you isolate a couple, and maybe the market supports this as well, that we expect to be significantly better than they were in 2025?
So there are 5 of those teams. So basically the methodology there was taking their actual points per game from last year and then comparing that to their Vegas implied points per game for 2026. So there are 5 teams, and they kind of fall in interesting different buckets. Like some of them are just the teams that were horrible offenses last year. Like Vegas just thinks inherently they won't be that bad again. So it's easier to take a leap from the bottom when the bar is basically on the floor. So you're looking at Vegas and Tennessee as 2 of those types of teams that Vegas is most, or the odds makers are most sure are going to improve this coming season. So for instance, the Raiders are expected to score over 5 points per game more than they did a year ago. That still doesn't put them very high overall in the league, but it is a significant improvement from where they were last year, where they're averaging under 15 points per game. Tennessee, similar deal. Cam Ward, year 2, they're expected to score 20 points per game this year. That's up from 16.7 a year ago. So that those younger teams that were bad last year, those are teams that the odds makers are expecting to take a step forward, but you still need to contextualize it. Like those are still bottom 5 offenses in terms of expected points this year. And then you look at teams like the Chiefs and the Chargers. Like, what happened to both those teams last year, right? Like, injuries were a massive factor. I mean, even before Mahomes got hurt, the Chiefs didn't look like the Chiefs, but certainly afterward. I mean, we were all treated to that game on Christmas where we were watching Chris Oluokun, run around. So that was tough. Vegas expects a bounce back for the Chiefs, and same with the Chargers. Their whole offensive line was hurt last year. We saw that in the playoffs, of course, really reared its ugly head. There's a big expectation the Chargers get back in gear, and especially with Mike McDaniel coming in as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's a big factor for them, and that's what I like to look for. And I think that's where the most value is in fantasy or in the prop betting market. And as we're alluding to here, they're kind of one and the same. The teams that have new offensive schemes, that have quarterbacks that you expect to take a leap, that's where the Titans check both of those boxes. They have a guy who was drafted number 1 overall. He went through the typical rookie struggles. Now he is into year 2. They drafted a wide receiver. He's got Brian Daboll as the coordinator. It's very easy to check some of these boxes. Atlanta is another one that I find interesting. They have all of this offensive talent. Now they replace Raheem Morris with Kevin Stefanski, who you should all really like from a fantasy and prop perspective to help an offense grow. He's got the pieces to do it, but do we trust the quarterback position enough to make those sort of investments either in the betting market or in the fantasy market?
Yeah, Atlanta's a fascinating team this year for that reason, because I don't know if it's a hot take. It seems like you're in agreement with me here, where I think Stefanski is a rock solid head coach. Isn't he a 2-time NFL coach of the year? And yet, it's not a very buzzy.
With Cleveland, by the way, which is not an easy thing to do.
So sticking on the Cleveland point, he's made chicken salad out of what in Cleveland before with their quarterback situations. Last year, I mean, obviously it wasn't a good season for them, but he found ways here and there, or at different points during the Deshaun Watson era. There, it's okay, we got to go to Jameis. Well, here, we're going to make this work somehow, some way. So it's not great that they're fitting the bill of, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none, with Michael Penix and Tua. But I think that there will be a clear winner coming out of camp between those two. I think that it's a little bit overstated that it's going to be half season of Penix, half season of Tua, barring injuries to either of those guys who obviously have injury histories. But I do think that there's reason to believe that the overall personnel that Atlanta has, plus the coaching acumen that Kevin Stefanski has, plus you layer on the fact that you play in the NFC South, you play in one of the softer divisions in football, you're scheduled not too much of a gauntlet, you play indoors in such a high percentage of your games. I feel like the projection should be pretty rosy for this Atlanta offense. I think that Vegas has them around the 20th highest scoring offense this year. I could see that being closer to above league average this year, if not higher.
Jags, Buck. You can catch the rest of that conversation by checking out the Florida line. We discussed some of the value plays inside the state of Florida as well in the fantasy football market. That's the Florida line. My chat with John McKechnie of RotoWire.com. You can also find that on YouTube. Up next, time to head to Vegas. A check-in on the NBA Summer League and what to watch for with the Orlando Magic. Jason Beatty on the way next. Time to hit the mean streets of Las Vegas, Nevada. NBA Summer League action starts tonight for the Magic. They take on the Charlotte Hornets. Who should we be watching for? What should we be watching for? Let's check in with Jason Beatty from OrlandoSentinel.com, who is out in hot, sunny Las Vegas right now. How is Las Vegas this time of year? I imagine somewhere in the triple digits.
Yes, it is always really, really hot. I mean, this is my fourth summer league, and I still don't think I'm really used to, like, feeling that heat for the first time. It's just so dry out here. That's really the biggest difference, obviously, between the desert, in Vegas and this climate compared to Central Florida and Orlando. I remember my first summer league, I came back and I was thrilled to see rain again. So it's hot, but it's fun basketball. It's a fun time, and it's really just a good time with a bunch of people together around the league.
That people probably didn't fly to the radio to hear a back and forth discussion on the heat, but I agree. It's like in Florida, you step outside, you're sweating immediately. It kind of sneaks up on you out west, where you feel the heat, but you don't realize the toll it's taking on you until later. It's like, to me, it's I would find that at the end of the day, it would just sort of smack me in the face that I've been in the sun for far too long.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It is sneaky. Sneaky is the right word for sure.
Yep, sneaky desert heat. All right, let's talk about the coach. Who's coaching this team? What do we know about DJ? Is it Baker? Is that how you pronounce his name?
It is Baker. DJ Baker. He's been an assistant coach for quite some time in the league, most recently with the Charlotte Hornets, who you mentioned the Magic are playing tonight in the Summer League opener. He was also the head coach of the G League team for Charlotte, the Greensboro Swarm. So he's an experienced assistant coach. I had asked Sean Sweeney at his introductory press conference who would coach Summer League, and right then and there, Sean told me he wasn't too sure if he was going to do it or not, which led me to believe that there was a chance that one of his assistant coaches, once he finalized his staff, would coach the Summer League team, even though Sean's going to be a first-time NBA head coach. Sean in the past has jokingly said he believes he's coached the most Summer League games ever, so he's done that plenty. I think DJ Baker is an opportunity for him to, get to know some of the guys on the staff and get to know some of the guys on the roster. There's plenty of, main Orlando Magic guys and Osceola guys as well that'll be, around the organization. And I think with DJ, it's just a great opportunity to, continue to grow as a coach.
It's very rare for a head coach to coach a Summer League team. Do we ever see that? It's not something that I pay much attention to, but I would think that that's pretty uniformed at this point in the NBA, that the head coach isn't actually the coach of the Summer League team.
I wasn't on the beat at the time, but I do believe Jamal Mosley, when he became the Magic coach, he was also a first-time head coach the first time, obviously. I think he coached the Summer League that first summer. But you are right, it is not common, and I think for Sean to, put those duties aside and hand it to someone else. Obviously, Sean's going to be here and watching everything and be around the guys, and I'm sure some current Magic players will be out here as well, maybe getting some workouts in with the coaching staff and just getting to know Sean more and more. But I think this is, like I said, a great opportunity for DJ Baker.
Talking to Jason Beatty from OrlandoSentinel.com about the Orlando Magic. They make their Summer League debut tonight. You had a chance to chat with Jace Richardson and Noah Penda ahead of the Summer League action. Where's their head at in terms of what they hope to get out of this and what they're looking forward to in their second year?
Yeah, I think they're really looking forward to showing off some of the work they've already put in this summer. So far this offseason, it seems, I don't know exactly what his weight is, but it seems pretty clear to me that Noah Penda has definitely, thinned up a little bit in terms of building more muscle mass and maybe becoming more defined than he was as a young rookie last year. And I think with Jace Richardson, it's really his development as an offensive player and a defensive player. I think both of them really talked about wanting to be a quote-unquote pest on defense and play aggressive defense and show off their skills that they've been working on. And I think they feel a lot more confident coming into this summer naturally with a year under the belt in the NBA, compared to a year ago when they first arrived at the Magic. So, I'm excited to see how they look, to see what they can do. And I don't know how many games they're going to play out here. Probably just like 2 or 3 games. That's usually what the main guys for the Magic have played in the past. Maybe it's a little different under Sean Sweeney and DJ Baker, but I'm excited to see what they look like.
Isaiah Nelson making his debut. Do you think with a strong Summer League that he could make his way to becoming a rotational piece for the Magic this season, or is there just too much of a logjam on this roster for this guy, second-round pick out of USF, to see the light of day?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for him to see the court this year, regardless of how Summer League goes. I think the biggest thing is really just showing what he's capable of doing. I mean, we've heard so much about his work ethic, his tenacity, his ability to do all the dirty work on the court on both ends, rebounding, playing aggressively, pushing the pace. And we've heard a lot about his high motors. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. I mean, obviously he accomplished a lot in 1 year at USF, previously at Arkansas State as well. And, for him on a two-way contract, it's definitely going to be difficult, but you just never know. And I think that's the fun part about Summer League. 'Cause a lot of guys come in and kind of make a name for themselves. And at the same time, you want to take it with a grain of salt because it is just Summer League.
Yes. Always take Summer League with a grain of salt. And I can see Magic fans now, if Cam Reddish hits a couple of threes, that they're going to go wild for this guy. Number 10 pick from the 2019 class, a guy that 7 years ago I was high on. A lot of people were high on him, and the guy was a top 10 pick in the draft, and now he's playing Summer League for the Magic. What's his story? How did this come together? This feels unique in its nature that you have a top 10 pick from not that long ago that's trying to make his way back onto an NBA roster via the Summer League.
Yeah, I think he's just sort of kind of bounced around the league. I don't know if he entered the draft a little early, just sort of didn't pan out. I mean, he is still relatively young, but I think he just sort of got lost in the mix of being in the NBA, and this is an opportunity for him to potentially, again, not just, it's not just about potentially waiting for the Magic, but making an impression on league executives and other teams that are in attendance. It's interesting. I think, Cam Reddish, I was looking into it. I forgot that he was on that 2019 Duke team that beat UCF in the NCAA tournament. So that's how long ago he's been in college, and now he's in the NBA, still trying to find his way. And there's a few different guys like that. I mean, you talk about, Ricky Council and Ty Washington. There's a handful of guys on this roster that are really experienced, that have, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of NBA experience. You don't see that too often, but I think, those are the guys that you'd expect to have, maybe a little bit more control of the ball or better decision making, or can get out and run. So just like the rookies and just like the Jace Richardsons of the world, I'm excited to see what Cam Reddish can do in a Summer League setting. I mean, hypothetically, he has the most experience on the court tonight.
Yep, he's got a chance to shine. We always see some random names pop up and win, or at least compete for Summer League MVPs. I had a guest on yesterday that talked about Kyle Filipowski being a guy that won, also a former Dookie, that won Summer League MVP. So who knows? We'll see what it looks like. Jason Beatty from OrlandoSentinel.com has all your coverage throughout on that great publication. Thanks so much, Jason. Enjoy the sweltering heat of Las Vegas.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Kravitz.
Always good catching up with Jason Beatty. And it makes me think of how long him and I have been going back and forth on the radio. He mentioned the 2019 Duke UCF game in the NCAA tournament. He was covering UCF at the time. I'm pretty sure that I brought him on to talk about that. And now you fast forward 7 years later, and we're having a conversation about Cam Reddish trying to make his way on to the Orlando Magic.
And I was in the 8th grade, I think.
And Jaden was in the 8th grade.
Make it
so
feel
there
old.
you go. Thank you for that, Jaden. Me and the rest of the audience feel ancient. More game on, more from you, the game heads, and we've got a Gator report coming up around the corner. What's it looking like for John Summerall ahead of year one? We'll get to all of that after this. Mike Bianchi is out this week. He'll be back next week on Tuesday, I believe, is when he will make his way back to us. It is halftime for Morocco and France. I believe they're in Gillette Stadium in Boston. 0-0. Still waiting for France to get on the board. I don't know if you wound up following my advice on Mbappe goal, France to advance.
I was going to,
yep.
But I ran out of time, so I didn't feel like I should. But maybe I live bet this tie that's about to happen.
You know, not a bad option either. Really, there's a lot of different ways this can go. Oh, look at this highlight. Mbappe set up and kicked it right to the goalie. Ah, man, if you were on that shot right there would have sent you into a spiral. I saw via NFL.com they gave the Jacksonville Jaguars a grade for their 2026 offseason. It is like a Jaden Grimes take on Grade the Take. It's an F.
Oh, okay. I'm like a C student, all right? I'm a CD student. I'm not a failing student.
They criticized Jacksonville for losing starters in free agency, questioned several draft picks. They had one of the worst drafts. Perception-wise, obviously got to wait until this stuff plays itself out, I guess. But we grade it right after the fact, and their draft was not highly thought of. They went kind of rogue as far as the board goes, and they did very little to address major needs. I think Jacksonville, for the most part, is really happy with their roster, and that's the reason why they didn't make a lot of moves. They lost Devin Lloyd in free agency. He's with the Panthers now. That's a big loss, but if this is why it's so important for them to put Travis Hunter, park him on defense, and it's like adding a potentially elite-level defensive back to that defense. That's why it's important for them to do that, but the Jags are a little bit like the Magic in the sense that internal growth is how they're going to get better. They already have the pieces they feel like they need to win, and they also have reason to believe that those pieces are going to grow into something better than what they've been. Trevor Lawrence, back into last year, played like an MVP. Paolo Banchero in the playoffs, if he were to play like that throughout the regular season, he'd be in the conversation for most valuable player. The Jags are a year ahead in terms of they pushed Buffalo to the brink, but they did so with a new head coach. Now the Magic have a new head coach. So there's a lot of similarities. The Jags are the NFL version of the Magic, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really like this Jags team. I think they're set up a little bit better than the Magic, just based off we don't really know the injury concern here. We don't know how many games Franz is going to play. I don't really have those concerns with the Jag. Like, Trevor Lawrence is going to play all 16, 17 games.
It's less suffocating being in the NFL right now. It feels like there's no way out for the Magic because of how tough the Eastern Conference is. The NFL is just, you get hot. An opposing quarterback like Burrow getting hurt is not a crazy thought. You know, what if Allen were to go down? Okay, well, there goes Buffalo.
Right.
And that stuff happens all the time in football. So I think it's easier to draw that path for the Jags. But overall quality compared to the rest of the league, it's kind of similar. Also, a story real quick that I'm going to ask Edgar Thompson about that Jaden and I have talked about a little bit off the air. Billy Napier admitting that he should have given up play calling sooner. The quote was, I think that we really struggled to manage the workload that came with NIL and that came with the portal, and that he should have given his play calling duties back a while ago. Duh. We were only telling you that. Everybody was telling you that for well over a year, Billy.
I'm a better play caller than you, Billy.
But you have all this other stuff to worry about. I don't get why coaches who have a million responsibilities are like, oh, I know, I'll also call every play in the game. If that's what you do, I understand why it would be hard to give it up. But especially in college, you got a million people on the sidelines. You have a lot to manage. That's a lot to put on your shoulders. So good for Billy for finally admitting it. We're back in 60 seconds with Gator Talk.
That's not a very good question.
Gators versus Owls, 2 months away. So we're getting close. And the previews start right now here on Game On. Only one place to turn, and that is our go-to source for all things Gators. Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel joins me on the hotline right now. Edgar, how is your off-season treating you?
I'm in Virginia. I just played 18 holes of golf with my 87-year-old dad. My uncle had a great time, and world-class golf course. I live very modestly in Gainesville, but when I get home, I kind of get to partake in some nice things.
Well, that is great to hear, and that is definitely something worth celebrating, being able to go out there and play a few rounds with your dad like that. I was just talking about the comments made by Billy Napier, who's now the head coach at James Madison, where he admitted that he should have given up play calling a while ago. What were your thoughts when you read those quotes from the old Gator coach?
Yeah, I think Matt Hayes might have spoken to him, former Gator beat writer for the TU back in the 90s, and obviously the college football, voice of renown, but he spoke to him too, a bit along the same line. So for some reason, this took more root, maybe because it's a little slower time. But yeah, I don't know who Billy Napier's PR person is or DJ Lagway's PR people are. I do actually know his people, but I don't get the messaging. It's like, okay, yeah, everybody knew that, Billy, including your AD, who commented on it the day after you got fired, that you were stubborn with the play calling, and it probably cost you your job. And, I don't know what he thinks he's gaining from that. Maybe it's just cathartic for him. And then you got DJ, talking about feeling boxed in and isolated. It's like this kid made millions of dollars, and honestly, I think he left under contract still. I'm not 100%, but remember the Mensa thing that created such a stink? A lot of these guys signed front-loaded deals because the rev share was coming in July 1, 2025, so they paid a lot of upfront money to a lot of elite players and at the end of transferring, that money went with you. So what are these guys complaining about? It's really infuriating, honestly. I don't even want to hear it. It's like you came in and spent $500 million, Billy. They gave you everything you wanted, everything, and you won 22 games. All right? That's all I know, and I don't need to hear mea culpas and catharsis from you up from Harrisonburg, all right? And DJ similarly. They didn't want to get surgery. His team managed this thing. It blew up in their face. The kid handled it with a lot of humility and a lot of class. And Billy handled things respectfully till the end, too. They were respectful people. But I don't know who's advising them to be messaging this way. They just need to, put the plug in. We're done. We don't need to hear this anymore. I'm so over these stories at this point from those two guys.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Nobody's covered them more than you have, so I would be as agitated as you are. What's going to be the hot topic surrounding the Gators when the SEC huddles for media days at the end of the month?
Well, John Summerall is going to captivate the media corps there at SEC spring meetings in Destin, which is a real, like small crew. They invite you, so it's very selective who gets to go, and so it's a few dozen reporters, some national people and some of the, main people on each team's beat, and I'm fortunate I get to go to that every year. But they were all like, wow. They're like, dude, you got a guy to cover, man.
Yeah.
This guy's great. And he's gonna captivate the audience. He's gonna be authentic. He's gonna be funny. He's gonna be confident. And he's gonna, not set unrealistic expectations either, but he's also not going to go in there and say, yeah, this is going to be some process. I mean, he's ready to hit the ground running and win. So, I mean, that's going to be, I think what's going to be talked about the most in terms of what the questions are entering this season. I mean, they're legion. There's all kinds of, how this thing's going to, do they have enough depth? I think the top-end talent at most positions is pretty good. I mean, they have 3 very good linebackers. They have some real potential, off the edge, I think, especially if L.J. McCray starts playing like the number 1 recruited defensive lineman, and he has been, by all accounts, during the spring. They're real happy with him. And you got Jaden Woods, Cam James, and Orlando Kid. I mean, they have a few good corners, I believe. They have a couple good safeties. Bryce Thornton is DJ Coleman from Baylor. The interior line has a few good players. Brendan Bett, the Baylor transfer last year, he's going to emerge. So that's his defense alone. They have players, but who's behind them? Offensively, they're very deep at running back. They have a lot of options at receiver. Tight end's an issue. Who's going to throw them the football, right? And who's going to generate the push up front in the run game? Because the offensive line, I think they have a lot of options, but they got to find the right combination and cohesion and communication up there, because last year they came in with all this veteran experience and were very inconsistent. They're not going to have that, but I think they have a much better coach in Phil Troutwine, the former Gator, came from Penn State. I mean, if the offensive line can gel, this offense with Buster Faulkner calling plays, if the quarterback manages the game well, I think that it could be a pretty damn explosive offense. So, but that I think the questions are, where's the depth, and who's the quarterback really? And the offensive line is maybe not like a national or even SEC-wide story, but in terms of our focus as beat writers and people who know this program, I mean, that really is the number 1 question. Can they get it right up front?
Talking to Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel, who covers the Florida Gators, of course. You mentioned Buster Faulkner, who comes over from Georgia Tech, the offensive coordinator now for the Florida Gators. The offense they ran last year in Georgia Tech, it was great. They had an elite quarterback in Haynes King running the show, and sometimes that perhaps can help us to overrate the quality of an offensive play caller, or maybe he's the reason that Haynes King was as good as he was. But my question is, what kind of offense does he run? What can we expect to see the Gators do stylistically on offense?
His big thing is make you defend every blade of grass. Billy Napier really liked to play 12 personnel, really keep it kind of in tight. And they take some shots, there's no doubt, especially when DJ was healthy in 2024. He could attack downfield. But they weren't like a dynamic offense by any stretch. I mean, there were some good run game concepts. Now, that comes from people who know run game concepts. That's not me saying it, but people thought they were pretty good there. But this offense, I think, is going to be dynamic. They're going to, he's going to try to get guys in space. They might not be attacking downfield, but they're going to find mismatches and get guys in, try to get them in space, whether it's Eric Singleton or Bailey Stockton, the Georgia Tech transfer. I mean, nobody's going to put the ball in those 2 guys' hands on end rounds, too. You got Vernell Brown III. I mean, he's very dynamic. You got Dallas Wilson is healthy, and it seems he's heading that way. A big target there. I mean, Micah Mays, the Wake Forest transfer, caught a 75-yard touchdown the spring game. So they're gonna try to spread you out and stress the defense in a variety of ways, and they're gonna have a lot of formation. They're gonna do a lot of things out of the same formation and just keep you guessing like what you're really seeing, like the looks. He's very good at that. And, he's got Jaden Baugh, who's just an elite weapon. I mean, this guy had 1,350 yards from scrimmage last year in a pretty poor offense, a bad offense, so the lowest scoring offense in the SEC. With Buster Faulkner, this guy could almost be a 1,800-plus yards from scrimmage guy, I think, pretty easily. I mean, he turned this Jamal Haynes kid into this 2,500-yard rusher, 2,500 yards in 3 years, and, the guy caught like 90 balls. And he was like 5'9", 175. He wasn't Jaden Baugh, who's just a specimen. So I think he's going to have a huge year, Jaden Baugh.
Yeah, I've seen some big-time hype around him. Your best guess as to who the starting quarterback will be? Aaron Philo, who comes over from Georgia Tech, or Tramel Jones, who is the homegrown option?
I think it's going to be Aaron Philo, just based on knowledge of the offense, because it is a complicated offense. You're going to be moving guys around. There are going to be shifts. There are going to be a lot of that, you're going to have to know the protections and all this stuff, that the cerebral part of the game that we kind of take for granted. We just think the ball snapped and the guy just does stuff. I mean, it's very complex what they have to do pre-snap. And he just knows the offense it'd be third year in this offense. I think Buster's going to be more comfortable with him. He's going to be more comfortable in the offense. Not to say Tramel Jones won't have opportunities, and if Philo doesn't really do much, or he isn't dynamic, and they want to see if Tramel can bring more to the offense, I'm sure that will happen. But I think you will be seeing Aaron Philo starting week 1. I'd be surprised if not there.
We're 2 months away from the start of the season. Our go-to source for all things Gators, will be talking to him on a weekly basis come the start of the season. Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Appreciate the time. Enjoy the Northeast, my friend.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you having me.
Up next, renderings. Should this make Orlando baseball fans nervous? I don't think so, and I'll explain why. This Tampa Bay fairy tale isn't going to happen right after this. Leon Mills is the founder and CEO of Mills Air, and his goal from day one has been to provide the best quality service and equipment to his valued customers, for which I am one of them. And he did so by building a team, internal culture, family. Since 1992, they've grown to be one of Central Florida's largest and most respected companies around, providing a complete line of products and services in air conditioning, heating, and indoor air quality. Mills Air is a full-service residential, commercial, and multifamily contractor with an expert staff that is ready to service all of your needs. They've got a fleet of trucks ready to service for you as well. 75 of the best people in the industry that are ready at a moment's notice. Go and find them online at millsair.com, and you could be their next cool customer.